morning and welcome to Coffee Talk. So the Japanese have a saying. They say that everyone has three faces. The first face is the one you show the world. The second face is the one you show closest friends and family. And the third face is the one you never show anyone, but it's the truest reflection of who you are. And I was thinking about this morning, about why, if that is true, why? Why is there a part of ourselves that we hold back from the rest of the world? Is it out of fear? Is it out of insecurity? Is it because we don't really like what we see in the mirror? I was thinking about bravery in regards to this, and most times I feel like I am fairly brave. I'm certainly brave when it comes to confrontation, but sometimes let me tell you a story about what happened last week in LA. The way that my meetings were scheduled, because I'm only in LA for a few days, they schedule my meetings back to back to back. So they only give me enough time to literally get to where I'm going. And if you've ever driven in LA, they say everything takes 20 minutes. I'm going to say more like 40. The construction right now is brutal. And I have the worst sense of direction, so I rely on a GPS for everything. And the GPS always wants to take you on the freeway. Always. I can never take a back road anywhere. I'm always stuck on the 10 or the 405. Anyway, the way that this one day worked out, I had an hour. Never happens. And I have been brewing this idea for a horror movie in my mind for months. And as some of you may know, the first movie I sold in Hollywood was a horror movie. Horror is my favorite genre. It's my favorite genre to think about. It's my favorite genre to write, but it's also one of the hardest genres to sell because there's not a lot of fresh concept in horror. It's a lot of, we've seen that before, because there's only so many things that scare people that we haven't already seen. I mean, the 80s rocked horror. Hence why they're doing the Poltergeist remake, which, by the way, I just saw the trailer of, and I thought I was going to hate it, but I actually loved it. Although Poltergeist is a classic, Steven Spielberg wrote that movie. It's hard to do better than Steven Spielberg, but I digress. Anyway, without telling my agent, I emailed the biggest horror producer in the country. Jason Blum and Blumhouse Productions does every scary movie you can think of. Insidious, Sinister, Annabelle. Oh, no. Screen Gems did Annabelle. But Jason may have produced it. Everyone. The low budget one about the couple filming their bedroom. I can't think of the name right now, and they made like 10 spin-offs of it. Anyway, just take my word for it. He's the top. So I've met him before, so I emailed them and said, I have a great idea for a horror movie. Can I come in? You just don't do that. You have agents call, you set meetings, a month in advance. And he was like, yes, find a way, make it work, whatever. His head of development emailed me back and was like, what time can you be here? I said 12:30. He said, all right. Next thing I know, I'm literally driving 20 miles out, what felt like states, out of my way to sit down with this guy. And I was like, what am I even going to say to him? I don't have a pitch prepared. I have no document. I have nothing ready. My agents are going to kill me. But yet I was so excited. Like, I was pumped up on adrenaline. Like, oh my God, this is what I live for, this pitch, right? So I get there. He comes out. Jaime, nice to meet you. Hi, Ryan, how are you? We go in the room and we make a little small talk. And he's like, all right, so talk to me about your idea. And it's like, at this moment, how real am I going to be? Am I going to do the textbook pitch, or am I going to go for it? So I just went for it. I figured, I'm here. Let me just do it. I was terrified. I literally felt like I was going to throw up. But long story short, I do the pitch. He asks all the right questions. and I leave. The next day I fly out, Thursday, and I land in Charlotte to a message from that company, and I call them back, and the short wind of it is, we love the idea, but we already have enough movies in production similar, but we love you, and we want to work with you. So please have your agent set up something where we can meet again or get on a call and find a way to work with you. You've got to have other big ideas like that. We want to make a movie with you. And essentially it's a pass. They passed on my movie, but that wasn't what I decided to hear. I decided to hear that I showed a part of me that I don't often let many see, because that part of me is so raw. It's like I guess I do show it in Cawfeetawk, but not in business as much. Usually in business, I'm much better versed. I'm prepared. I'm a big plan girl. I always have a safety plan. And they want to work with me. Partially, I think, because I was so fearless. At least this is what I'm telling myself. Look, it could have been because I have hair curtains. Who knows? But I just decided to let them see the rawest part of me in regards to what we do. And it worked. And it was terrifying for me. And I felt like I was going to throw up and have diarrhea and all of that. And I left so emotionally charged. I was like, oh my God. And I called my agent. I was like, you're not going to believe what I just did. And he was like, you're right. I'm not. Why would you? And I was like, but it was great. It was so great. It was a little reckless professionally, but now I get to spend an hour today of quiet time crafting the most brilliant of horror ideas for the biggest horror producer in the country. Will anything come of it? We can't know, but we can't know unless we try. My point of this story is that I decided, because it felt right to me, to allow somebody to see that part of me that where I'm so filled with, there's no plan. It's just excitement. It's just raw emotion for what I love to do. It's all over the place. I am so structured all the time. When I sit down and pitch something, it's been thought out. It's been written out. There's documents. And here I was, balls to the wall, just like, okay, here I go. Blah, blah, blah. And it paid off. How many of us never let people see that side of us because we're trying so hard to put our best foot forward? And sure, I could have done that too, set the meeting, wrote up the document, went through the pitch bullet point by bullet point. And I don't know that I would have gotten a different reaction or a different response. Maybe I would have. I have no idea. I'll never know now. Instead, I went in there wide open and just, and then, and this, and that, and then she, and then this. And it was so all over the place. But he looked at me from across the table like this. Like, this woman is in this room full of so much animation. Sometimes I think we hold back the best parts of ourselves because we're so afraid of what people may think. Maybe we're a loose cannon or whatever. It's just something to think about. I love you today. What face are you going to show today? Have a great day.